Okay, okay, okay. Yeah. Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for choosing to do something for not only yourself, but also for me. Um, Before we go ahead and get into the session, before we go ahead and get started, I want us to set an intention, right? What is our intention for joining this session today? Why are we here? What do we intend on happening, on seeing, on realizing, on recognizing, on acknowledging? So I'll give you a second to write that down. I'm going to write mine down too. Um, okay, so I'm going to share my intention. My intention, I wrote, is to show myself that I can do it, to show myself that I know how to show up for not only me, but also others. I know how to embody my gifts, embody who I am, that I am capable, that I am strong, and that I am talented. Excuse me. Whoopsie, that I am talented and that I'm perfectly imperfect, right? I don't have to show up perfectly. I don't have to show up as this. I don't have to show up as that. I can just show up as me. And it's okay, right? I am enough is my intention here of what I'm trying to uh, instill within myself and recognize within myself. So let's go ahead and take 3 deep breaths and ground into the space, and then we'll get started. So inhale in, deep breath out. Inhale in, deep breath out. Inhale in and deep breath out. A deep breath is always going to do it. And so, just to really ground in this space and really acknowledge what we're here for and acknowledge each other's presence, I want us to do the prayer mudra, right? And then we're going to say, from one soul to another, you are welcome here. And then we can just bow, right? And that just shows our acknowledgement of each other, our acknowledgement of us trying to embrace self-care through coming to this, right? Through attending this and being here and being present with not just ourselves, but with others. So from one soul to another, you are welcome here. Ashe. And I want to do that because really there are so many spaces where we don't really feel safe, right? We don't really feel welcome. And it's important for us to really allow ourselves to be part of safe spaces, to create and be part of creating safe spaces. Okay, so what is self-care? I feel like society has a version of what self-care is, right? Self-care in society is, oh yeah, I'll get my makeup done, I'll get my nails done, I'll get my hair done, I'll go shopping, right? I'll buy myself dinner, I'll go get some ice cream. And while that is self-care, right? That is part of self-care, the deeper levels of self-care seem to go unnoticed, right? Because real self-care at a deeper, more core level is about balancing the physical body, the energetic body, the mental body, the emotional body, right? It's about finding balance within them all and not just focusing on one aspect. And I feel like that's really how society has really uh, I was gonna say propagated, propagated self-care culture. It's like, oh yeah, just do that, right? It's easy, quick fixes that feel good, right? And are easily achievable. But the thing about self-care, real self-care, is that it goes deeper than that, right? It goes deeper than that. It touches your heart, it touches your core, it touches your soul. It's not always, self-care is not always supposed to feel good, right? We always want to do the thing that feels good and call that self-care. And while that is self-care, right, it absolutely is part of self-care, an integral part of self-care, right? Get taking yourself on dates, buying sweet treats, doing your nails, doing your hair, because that is taking care of you as well. An important aspect of that too, that we often forget about, is dimension, the emotional, mental, and spiritual body, right? The energetic body. And in that, it's, hearing ourselves out, right? Taking care of our emotions, acknowledging how we feel, and not just seeking a quick fix, right? Really checking in and saying, how do I feel today? If I feel sad, okay, let's dive into that, right? Let's sit with that. Let's lean in versus, oh, I'll just go do this because it'll make me feel better. And that's self-care. It is self-care, but it's also kind of a cop-out. And so the significance of self-care is really to create a space to receive and give love, kindness, and compassion to yourself, right? So often we give all of these things to other people. So often we are giving our energy to things outside of us, right? But self-care says no, on top of that, that and, right? Not that or me, it's that and me, right? I also matter. And so it's about really creating a grounding and stable bond in relationship to yourself through getting grounded, through going deeper, right? Through um, sharing that compassion and that self-love and that care with yourself in in times of self-care and times of self-reflection, self-introspection, and really allowing yourself to receive, right? A lot of us have problems with receiving love. It's easy for us to give and give and give and put our worth in giving, but it's harder for us to receive, right? And take up space and let ourselves know, hey, like, it's okay for you to take up space. It's okay for you to speak your mind. It's okay for you to have these uncomfortable, undesirable feelings. It's okay for you to be upset, right? It's okay for you to be angry. And a lot of times we push, and this is why this is part of self-care, such an integral part. A lot of times we push away the undesirable feelings, the uncomfortable feelings, because we think, oh, I shouldn't feel them. If I feel them, I'll get stuck. They're bad to feel. It doesn't make me feel good. And granted, like, the undesirable feelings do not make you feel good, right? That's why they're undesirable, right? So they don't really make you feel good. It's not like, oh, I want to feel sad. I want to feel angry. But it's in those feelings that you're able to find yourself. You're able to feel yourself, connect to yourself. And so this session is activating our inner lovers, right? Activating our inner lovers, because you are your own partner, right? You are your own lover. And it's important that we know this, right? We embody this. We really see and acknowledge this. Like, you are your own partner first and foremost. Again, a lot of times we're seeking things externally to fulfill something, a void inside, and we want the quick fixes, right? We want the relationship, we want the shopping trip, we want the dinner, we want the ice cream, but it's not about that, right? Of course, in some moments those things do come in hand, right? But it's also very important to recognize there's a deeper side to self-care and what it means to really care for yourself. So let's go ahead and dive into um, practices we can use to embody our inner lover. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, view. Uh, where is play from start. Okay. So these are practices to embody our inner lovers. So sacred baths and showers. Water is very cleansing. So when you're in the bath, when you're in the shower, right? Let's start with the shower. When you're in the shower, as the water is cleansing over you, right? And water is a cleansing component. So that's why we use water and soap because water washes away the soap, washes away the scum, right? And so when the water is on you and as it washes over you, you want to speak out loud healing. You want to speak out loud or in your head cleansing and renewal, right? So as the water is running down, you're like, I'm releasing and letting go of what doesn't serve me. As you're washing your body, right? You're visualizing all the dirt of the day and what you no longer resonate with or work with, just washing away and going down the drain and not coming back again. Okay. And we're just really letting it all go and letting ourselves be embraced, letting ourselves be renewed, letting ourselves be cleansed through this cleansing, sacred shower. And it's sacred because we are putting thought into it, right? We are really attuning to the water. We are really attuning to the moment. We are present in it, right? And so when you take baths, you also want to when you're um whoopsie when you're making the bath water, right? When you get in, set intentions for your bath. Set intentions for, okay, this bath is like this. Your this bath is going to remove what doesn't serve me. This bath is going to bring up for me whatever I need it to so that I may release it, let it go, and cleanse my auric field. This bath is going to rejuvenate me, right? This bath is going to renew me. I give permission for this bath to take away from me what no longer serves, at least, right? It doesn't have to be anything extra. It could just be I give this bath permission to remove and cleanse and renew everything that doesn't serve me. And when you do this, you can put crystals in the water, right? If you have crystals, you can put crystals in the water and you can light candles, right? So when I get in my bath, I run the bath water, I put the bubble bath in, and as I'm doing that, I get the candles, I get the crystals, and then as the water fills up, as the water fills up, I put the crystals in the water so the crystals can acclimate to the water. So when I get in it, my intentions are flowing, right? My intentions are set. And then, of course, I light the candles. And then at the end, when you're done, that's when you blow out the candles because then it's like the ceremony has been complete, right? Ashe, and so it is type vibe. I claim type vibe. And then we have body movement, right? A way to practice embodying your inner lover is allowing your body to move, getting grounded in your body, feeling into your body, right? And this could be through yoga, right? This could be through freestyle dancing, or this could be through stretching, or whatever other modality works for you, right? But I found that these three work for me, right? They really get me in tune with my body. They really get me in tune with how I'm feeling. They really get me in tune with um, myself, right? Which then allows me to tap into those emotions. And if you don't know, all of these things actually allow emotions to come up, right? Yoga, dancing, they allow energy to flow within you and to come up so that it can come out, right? So when you're dancing, when you're doing yoga, when you're stretching, you're releasing and moving around energy. And then we have expressing yourself, a way to practice embodying your inner lover is to allow yourself to express to yourself, right? First and foremost. So, journaling your feelings, right? How do I feel today? And it doesn't have to be, a lot of times I find that um, do, 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 do. A A lot of times I find that people have a hard time expressing themselves because through journaling because they're worried about the format and they're worried about what they're going to say and they're thinking too hard about it, right? When really journaling is for you to just freehand, right? Freely express, freely say whatever's on your mind. It doesn't matter what it is, just get it out, just say it. That is what journaling is for. So journaling doesn't have to be done in any particular way, in any certain structure. It can simply be like whatever is on the tip of your head. Like, so for me right now, it would be like, I'm doing this Zoom and this is going so well. I feel it in my body. Oh my God, this is so cool. I feel like da 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 da. I don't know, da da da. Like, it could just be whatever you want it to be, right? It's allowing yourself to just write, right? Without judging, without getting too attached, without overthinking, right? And really validating, right? And holding space and having compassion for your experience and for what you have to say. And so in that, it's having conversations with yourself, right? You want to have the important conversations with yourself. You want to ask yourself the important questions, right? How do I really feel today? How did wearing that outfit make me look? How did I like wearing it? How did it fit me? Did I enjoy my day? What didn't I like about my day? What don't I like about my life? What do I like about my life? Um, Something bothered you, right? Something's on your mind. Allow yourself to have that conversation with yourself out loud, right? Verbal processing. And that's another thing where it's like, oh, but that's so weird talking to yourself. Oh, but that's so weird. Oh, again, that judgment, right? But we have to release judgment, allow ourselves to be in the moment, ground in the moment from our yoga, from our stretching, from our dancing, from our meditation, right? And really allow ourselves to center into the moment and say, you know what? It doesn't matter. If I can talk to somebody else and it's not weird, why can't I talk to me? I'm a person too. I'm a person too, right? And so we all need a voice of reason, and you can be your own voice of reason without making it like this weird, convoluted, judgmental thing. And that's part of holding space for yourself, right? And having that compassion for yourself and allowing yourself to be heard and your experiences to be validated, right? It's important to really heal yourself out, but hear yourself out, right? Hear about your experience, hear about how you feel, have compassion for how you feel, have compassion for um what you're going through, right? It's easy for us to be in the hustle and bustle of life, which I'm going to get into in our hindrances and resistances aspect, but it's easy for us to get caught up in whoopsie. It's easy for us to get caught up in judgment and all of these things in our heads, right? But it's okay for us to unapologetically be with ourselves. It's okay for us to unapologetically exist, right? Without it being like, oh, I'm weird if I'm like this. Oh, I shouldn't be doing this. A lot of that is all things that are part of self-care, right? Working through those opposing feelings, working through those negative feelings, working through the resistance. And then we have time in nature. Time in nature is important, and it's an important part of practicing embodying your inner lover because nature nurtures your nature. Let me say that again. Nature nurture tongue tied. It's a word right again. Nature nurtures your nature, right? That's why when you go outside and you go back inside, you're like, wow, all I really needed was that walk. Wow, I feel so much better. Wow, I feel like I've gained perspective. It's because out in nature, you are able to cleanse your energy and rejuvenate your energy and heal your energy, right? You're able to come back to you. And it's because nature is organic, nature is original, just like you are, right? Nature is divinely created by the Most High, just like you are. And so when you go out in nature, nature reflects your nature and it cleanses your spirit and rejuvenates your soul. It gives you that higher perspective. It kind of can even give you a feeling of euphoria because it really is a refresher to your soul, to your mind, and to your body, right? So it's important to allow yourself to spend some time out in nature, go outside, spend some time just laying on the grass, standing on the grass, barefoot, right? Um, Even with shoes if you want, but like also just sitting on the grass, right? If you want, bring a blanket, sit on the grass, uh, sit outside on your patio in a chair, go for a walk, right? Go to the park, get on the swings and listen to music. That's something I love to do, right? And it really connects me with not only myself, but my inner child, right? And that's really where our nature comes from, our inner child. So that is an important aspect as well of practicing embodying your inner lover, getting out in nature. And then we have explore. Let yourself explore what interests you. Let yourself explore um, what you're interested in. Let yourself do the things that scare you, right? Like me doing this Zoom workshop today. I was scared, but also very excited, right? And I'm like, I don't know what this is going to be like. I don't know. I don't know. It's very unknown, right? Because you're exploring, you're just figuring it out. You're just seeing what you like. You don't necessarily know yet. And so it's important to allow yourself to explore and do the things that make you afraid and do the things that are out of your comfort zone because it's in that that you learn more about yourself, right? It's in me doing this that I'm going to be able to realize, okay, do I like this? Do I not? Does this feel good? Does it not? What else do I want to do? Can I do something else? How can I branch out, right? It lets you expand. And expansion is an important part of self care, of embracing your inner lover. Because if you think about it, it's like if you had a partner, you would want your partner to share interest in your interest, right? You would want your partner to support you in exploring what interests you. You would want your partner to support you in your expansion, right? You would want them to explore with you even and you would want them to encourage your exploration, right? You wouldn't want them to be like, oh no, like don't do that, like that's stupid, oh no, like that's not worth it, oh no, like you shouldn't do that, oh no, like that doesn't matter, oh no, like that's not worth it, oh no, right? And if they did do that, you'd look at them like, why you acting like that? It would be sketchy. And it's even sketchy from yourself. And that's what we have to recognize as self-care, right? As learning to embody our inner lover. We have to understand that we are our lovers first and foremost. And so if you wouldn't want your lover doing it to you, you don't need to be doing it to you. Amen. And so that's the end of the slide. Let's go ahead and get back into it. And so, you know, when I when I did self-care, when I used to do self-care, I would do self-care, right? And I would do it in a more societal, glorified way of like, okay, I'm just gonna do the face mask. Okay, I'm gonna watch a movie and make some good food, and I'm going to um take some space from people. And I even took baths, right? But I feel like when I used to do it, I was not only just staying above the fray with it, right? I was on the very superficial, kind of just like relaxing aspect of it, but I don't feel like I was as intentional. I don't feel like I was as present, right, as I could be, as I am in present day, right? I feel like while I did do the baths, I did not set intentions for them at that time. I did not know I could do that, right? And that's a part of it too, right? We don't know really how to care for ourselves more wholly, more safely, right? And so it's why we have things like this. Um, to spread that information, to share that with everybody. But I didn't set the intentions. I didn't have the crystals, and that's okay, right? You don't need the crystals. You can just take a bath. You don't need to set intentions. You can just take a bath, and that works as well, right? Um, I would do the face mask, which was nice, right? And the face mask and the bath and the watching a movie and the eating, like these are all good things. These are all positive. These are all helpful and beneficial, right? And it doesn't really matter good or bad, but these are helpful as well. But the aspect that I was missing was really the intentions, right? Was really the presence, was really the grounding, was really creating the space for me to explore what it meant to participate in self-care for myself, what it meant to care for myself. I wasn't diving into, oh, I wasn't diving into um distracted. I wasn't diving into things like I could have been because I wasn't aware, but also I didn't think about it, right? I wasn't aware, I didn't think about it. But now I realize that self-care, and I also used to journal as well, right? I used to journal too in that. But again, it wasn't as intentional, it wasn't as grounded, it wasn't as present, right? I wasn't really wholly there. And that's part of getting in your body, right? The body movement, right? That's part of asking yourself how you really feel, what you're really thinking, what's really on your mind, right? Being introspective, having those real conversations with yourself, asking yourself those real questions instead of just saying, instead of just staying on the surface, right, and just doing the face mask and just doing all the things, right? Self-care is not necessarily about what feels good. And I think that's what I realized as well. It's not about just feeling good, right? Caring for yourself is not always going to feel good because you are not always going to feel good. And that is okay, right? And it's through caring for yourself in those moments that you're able to realize that and acknowledge that and come into a real space of bonding, right? And commitment to self. And so now I do practices like yoga, I do practices like freestyle dancing, I do the stretching, I go on walks, I sit outside, I lay outside for hours with my dogs with healing frequencies, and I just really bask in my energy. I bask in the energy of myself, of God, with God, right? I bask in how I feel, what I'm thinking, what I'm trying to do. I really just am more intentional and purposeful and present with myself, right? And that's a key part, the presence, right? The intention. Because it's like, imagine you are having a conversation with your partner and you're talking and they're just like, mm-hmm, yeah, right, yeah, mm-hmm. Like you're gonna be like, what? Why are you acting like that? Why are you blowing me off like that? And that's how we can treat ourselves without even realizing it. We be blowing ourselves off and we don't even be realizing it. Right? We are our biggest enemies. We are our biggest critics. And that's why it's so important to find that balance between all the emotional bodies. That's why it's so important to practice being present with yourself to learn what that means and really feels like for you. And also understand that you deserve that, right? You are worthy of that. I wish I had somebody in the past. I mean, I guess it's me now, right? But I wish I had somebody to tell me, hey, like, it's okay to care about yourself. Hey, like, it's okay for you to think about you first. Hey, like, it's okay to ask how you feel. It's okay to dig into these feelings. Like, it's okay to not be okay, right? Not feel okay. It's okay to uh, do different things, to be different, right? To try different things. It's all about expanding, it's all about exploring, right? And really emphasis on like giving to me. I wish I had somebody to tell me, like, hey, it's okay to give to you. It sounds like right now you really need to give to you. And that's part of self-care. It's part of being present with yourself. Self-care is caring for you first and foremost, making yourself a priority. You're so used to making everybody else a priority that you forgot that you are the main one. Yeah. Right? And so I am that person now, and I am presenting this information because I wish I had somebody do it for me, right? Somebody to walk me through it, somebody to hold my hand, somebody to say, it's okay for you to care about you. It's okay for you to love you. It's okay for you to put you first. How do you feel? Don't focus on how they feel, what they're going to think, what they're experiencing. No. What are you experiencing? Are they treating you well? Are they acknowledging you? What do you think about how you're being treated? What do you think about what you're receiving? Does it feel good? Does it feel bad? These are important questions to ask ourselves. That is part of caring for yourself, showing care, showing compassion, right? Asking those questions, getting curious. And so, reasons why we may not do our self-care is because of life's busy schedule. A lot of times there's a lot of things going on. We don't always have the time. It can get chaotic, it can be messy, and we can just be all over. We can be scattered, and it's like, I never have any time for me, right? That can be part of what hinders us from doing self-care. But on the opposing end of that, right? But on the opposing end of that, it's like you make time for what you want to make time for. You make time for what you want to make time for. You make time for what you want to make time for. So if you wanted to make time for yourself, you would have made it. You would make it. Same way, if you wanted to make time for that boy or girl, they or them, you would make time for them, right? So you, as your inner lover, you need to make that time for you. But that is a hindrance we come up against life's busyness. And self-care is cyclical. It's not linear. So it's not, oh, I missed it this one time. Let me get back in straight line and let me try to be perfect about it. No, it's just about if you fall off, getting back on it. Fall off, getting back on it, and just going around and around again and again and trying and trying and trying and really just not giving up on yourself, right? That's an important part of self-care too. Not giving up on yourself. Just the same way you would not give up on somebody else, just the same way you would not you would not someone you would not want someone to give up on you. Another aspect that we run into as far as a hindrance of why we don't do self-care is because we um aren't really truly taught how to prioritize ourselves, like I was saying with me in the past, right? And I'm still working on that in certain aspects, right? The people pleasing tendencies and the falling back into the same habits. It's like you have to acknowledge that you are a priority, that you matter just as much as the next person. It's not me or them, it's me and them, right? But me first. Why do I have to come second to myself? Why do I have to come last to myself? That's the question. Why? That's what we need to ask ourselves when we feel guilty for putting ourselves first. Why do I need to come last? Why do I need to come second? Why can't I come first? Where did I learn that I can't come first? Why do I feel that way? Right? And so that's a hindrance. We think that we're not really taught to prioritize ourselves and that it's okay, right? And we're not really taught how to genuinely do that, right? We're taught, oh, self-care, just do the face mask, just go out to dinner, just da 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 da. And while those things, like I said, and like I'm saying, are an important part of the self-care, it's like well, there's also other aspects that are very important, right? In governing and recentering and rejuvenating and renewing our bodies and our energies and our spiritual, emotional, and mental minds. And then another one is we have self-hate, right? We have negative self-talk. We have feelings of, oh, I don't deserve to be loving myself. I don't deserve to be cared for. I don't deserve to be held. I don't deserve to be part of a safe space. I don't deserve, I'm not worthy. Um, I'm not good enough, right? There's no time for me. All of these thoughts and feelings and um, barriers in our minds come up. because again, we're not taught to prioritize ourselves. We're not taught that it's okay to love ourselves. We are taught that if we love ourselves, we don't love others. We're taught that if we value ourselves and we're taking away from others, we're taught that it's bad to take care of ourselves and we have to prioritize others, right? We have to self-sacrifice. And that's not what we have to do. And it's important to shift that, right? And that's part of self-care, shifting how you feel about yourself, shifting how you talk about yourself, how you talk to yourself, how you open yourself up to receiving, what you open yourself up to receiving, right? Because it's not just about, oh, I'm receiving. What are you receiving? Is this healthy for me? Is this good for me? Does this feel good? Do I like this? Do I not? Versus just taking it in because it's something, right? Because we feel desperate, right? And that self-hate, that not deserving, that not feeling deserving, negative self-talk energy is where that leads us into that settling and desperation energy. And that's why self-care doesn't always feel good, because in self-care, we have to say, well, why do I not feel deserving? Well, why do I feel guilty? Well, why do I hate myself? Well, why don't I like this? Well, why am I judging this? Well, where did this come from? Right? We have to feel and sit with those feelings and experiences and hold compassion for them. And, the thing is, a universal secret, the powers that be always want us seeking externally in consumerism and capitalism because it gives to them. It doesn't give to us to keep doing and doing and doing and striving and striving and striving. Of course, it does, right, to achieve things, to have a car, to have a home, but they want us focused on achieving and doing and buying and consuming, right? TV, news, food, this, that, because it gives to them, and energy is currency, and they get paid energetically and they get paid monetarily, right? And so it's important to recognize that as well. Like, the world wants you to be focused externally. They want you to not prioritize yourself. They want you to not care about yourself. Because if you don't care about yourself, if you don't look internally, if you're always busy out there, out there, out there, trying to go out there, out there, out there to find everything to be validated, you're never going to know the powers within you. You're never going to find it and then create the communities and then rebel, right? And then revolutionize. You're never going to do that because you're not even, you don't even know. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know, right? They don't want you to know yourself. The powers that be do not want you to know yourself. And that's why people like me, right, are here to crack the code and give you the secret and tell you to take care of your fucking self because you fucking matter. And I don't really care what you think or say because you matter and you're worthy and you're deserving. Period.com. So keep that in mind, right? What are you giving to? Where do you want to be giving to? Right? What's the higher perspective here? Recognize in life how things are set up to consume you, right? Internally, mentally, emotionally, right? To have you in comparison, to have you in always wanting out there, always wanting this item, always wanting that item, always wanting to buy this, always wanting to look at that, always wanting to go there. It's okay to have those things, but they want it imbalanced. That's why you don't see us being taught about communication in school like a normal thing. That's why they're trying to take away our history stuff. There's so many things, right? So pay attention. Pay attention with that third eye. Okay. So now I want to go ahead and get into a uh, grounding practice. And so we're just going to close our eyes. We're going to take 3 deep breaths with one hand on our stomach and one hand on our heart. And I'm going to ask 3 questions and then we can answer them. So let's go ahead and close our eyes. That was a beginner breath. And now we're going to take 3 deep breaths. Myself's like, thank you for showing up for me today. Thank you for showing up for me today. Thank you. Okay, so when you think about your current sense of self-care, what is that number? One being low, 10 being super high. I'm seeing 7 and 8, but then I'm seeing like leaning more towards 8. Okay, so we're gonna say 8. What is it that you need from yourself right now? What is it that I need from myself right now? I'm hearing cheers, I'm hearing applause, I'm hearing recognition. I'm seeing like a mirror, me looking in a mirror, like, hey, look at you, girl. Okay, so recognition, applause, congratulations. Seeing myself, right? Seeing myself. Ooh, I feel that. I feel that. Okay. And then what is the first thing that comes to mind when I ask, how can I show up for my self-care today? Well, this week. How can I show up for my self-care this week? Mm, I'm getting like play energy, like running in the wind, letting myself free, letting myself wild, breaking free. Yeah. Okay, okay. Okay, so breaking free, letting myself experiment, soaring, going bigger, expanding, embracing. I'm just getting like a very free nature. That's really what I'm getting. Okay, thank you, self. Ashe, I hear you. Thank you. And so let me go ahead and jot that down. And you can write down your answers as well, whatever you remember. What did I say? What I need for myself right now? Um, oh yeah. Cheers. Congratulations. Acknowledgement. Recognition. See myself. Okay, and then first thing, how can I show up? Was how can I show up was um embracing, releasing, being free, freeing myself, right? Play, being wild, expanding, soaring. Okay. And so while we close out, um, any lasting tips I would say is that healing frequencies are very helpful. It is very helpful to use healing frequencies to listen to them, right? Listen to them when you're just chilling in your room, right? Listen to them when you're sitting and vibing outside, right? Because healing frequencies, like it says, healing frequencies, they heal your frequency, they heal your energetic body, right? They open you up and they have specific ones with specific intentions. So there's one for like releasing fear, there's one for releasing shame, there's one for love, right? There's ones for love, there's ones for um spiritual expansion. There's ones for um your sign, your zodiac sign, right? And so healing vibrations on YouTube has definitely helped me a lot. And I do recommend using that form of healing frequency um, music on YouTube. Remember, again, this is cyclical, right? Self-care is cyclical. So it's not meant to be linear. It's not meant to be perfect. It's not meant for you to get in line right now. No, it's meant for you to do your best, do what you can, show up where you can. However, that doesn't mean just let yourself fall off and fall off and fall off and push it back and push it back. No, that's not what that means. It means show up, right, where you can. Really put your best foot forward and allow yourself to show up. Don't say, I'm showing up. And then not really show up, right? Be genuine about your intentions and be honest with yourself. It's also important to be patient, right? Be patient and have grace when you do fall off or when it's not perfect, because really it's not even when it's not perfect, because it's never going to be perfect. That's water, but I really needed water. So it's not about, being perfect. It's just about having patience, right? And grace, but also making time, but also being assertive, but also having a certain structure and care for what you will and will not accept from yourself when it comes to your self-care, what you need, and what you deserve, right? And I also recommend going on walks at least 10 times a day. I mean, 10 times a day. Yeah, go on a walk 10 times a day. Go on a walk for at least 10 minutes a day or spend some time outside for at least 10 minutes, right? And again, it can be every other day, it could be every other, right? But it could be every day, right? Whatever works for you, whatever makes fit for you, right? It's not saying force something to be that's not really fitting with you. It's what works for you and genuinely works for you, not what you're settling for, not for what you're kind of trying to do. No, sit down and assess, okay, where can I fit this? When can I? How can I? How, what, you know what I'm saying? Work it out. Gotta work it out. Gotta work it out. Gotta work it out. Hey, gotta work it out. Straight like that. So, definitely go ahead and check out my YouTube channel for more videos, more teachings, more support, more community, more space, more understanding on any topic you may have a question on. I might have talked about it, I might not have. If you want to hear more about my experience, I'm going to go ahead and channel 3 affirmations to end, and then we will go ahead and close out the session, okay? So, Hmm. Let's see. Spirit, to me and through me, what are the 3 affirmations to close out this uh activating our inner lovers, the spiritual self-care workshop by yours truly, Kiara. What are 3 affirmations for us, Spirit? Okay. Mm. Mm. One more, Spirit. Oh, that was cute. Okay, so we have I am enough, enough as I am. I am enough, enough as I am. I will be the person I want to be. As each day passes, I become. I will be the person I want to be. As each day passes, I become. That's powerful. And love is free. Love is pure. Love is yours. Love is free. Love is pure. Love is yours. And on that note, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for being here, for taking time out of your day to spend it with me, for taking time to support yourself, to show up for yourself, and make yourself a priority today. When you leave here, just remember who's a priority? You. Who's a priority? You. Who comes first in your life? You. Who deserves to come first in your life? You. I love you.